And we're recording. All right, folks, episode 4 of Workspace After Work. I'm your host, Troy Edwards, and I'm glad to be joined today by Ben Gauthier, CEO and founder of Comeen, a workplace experience platform. We'll let Ben introduce Comeen, of course, in a second, but how are you doing today, sir?
I'm pretty good, Troy. Very happy to be with you today.
Yeah, glad to have you. Episode 4, week 4 here. We're rolling along with the podcast. Have you had a chance to listen to any prior episodes?
Yeah, I heard quickly Tony talking last week, and it's very nice to see him in this podcast. Very happy.
Yeah, Tony was great. Always nice to chat with him and catch up. And as you might have seen in that episode, I like to start off by asking everyone a little bit about their background and let you introduce yourself and maybe chat a little bit about the first time you used Google Workspace or first time you came across it. I imagine it was probably G Suite back then.
Yep, I will feel old, I guess. Should I introduce myself first and then we talk about Workspace?
Yeah, go for
All
it.
right, sure. So I'm Ben, obviously. I'm French. I'm 28, one of the founder of a company called Comeen. We've built this company 5 years ago. We define ourselves as a workspace or workplace experience platform. And our mission is to create a seamless experience between people and workplace in the work environment. So we're trying to make the experience for an employee when he goes to the office the more explosive, the more intense regarding all the tool we provide. So inside this platform, you can find 2 products. The first one is called Comeen Play, which is our digital signage platform. So basically, our customers will install signage screens in the lobby hall, in the break room, and they will use the screen to broadcast internal news, like the next upcoming events, the new hires, the open positions, even the weather, whatever that will help the team feeling engaged with their companies. We're seeing a lot with frontline workers, for instance. You see a lot of company out there with a lot of frontline workers and trying to find a way to engage them, to provide them the latest internal news. And since they don't have access to computer or smartphone, the signage screens is sometimes the only link they have with those internal news. So the mission is very important to us. And in other hands, we are providing a second product, Comeen Workplace. This product is here to help enterprise implementing what we call hybrid work. The fact that now people can work pretty much wherever they want, let's say 2 days a week at the office, 3 days from home. And it's a great opportunity for everyone, for employee and employers, to make the week more flexible regarding what you have to do. But you need also a tool to make your buildings flexible because they are not by definition. So maybe you need less space in one location and maybe more space in another location. So with this tool is here to help you understand how your buildings are used by providing features such as booking a desk, booking meeting rooms, very well integrated with Workspace, obviously, and we'll talk about it, and also welcoming external visitors. So with these 2 products, we have a lot of joint customer on both products. When you're an employee and you go to the office, you will have to interact with Comeen to make your experience, let's say, perfect.
Very cool. Yeah, and Ben and I have known each other for, I think we were introduced just a little over a year ago, probably. Yeah. And I've seen the growth of your company and hybrid work growing as a market over the last year or so. So exciting times, and I know you've got some milestones in terms of number of users and that sort of thing coming up on the horizon. First time you interacted with the Google productivity and collaboration tools, do you remember when it was, where it was?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure it was the first time I was in high school, and we had to work on this group project. I think it was due for the end of the year, something to validate, to go on next year. It was a project on the Mars exploration rover, one of the first rover going to Mars. And I remember we were trying to find a way to work at 3 people on the same document. Basically, it was a Word, Microsoft Word document, and we were sending version over and over, to get the final version. And each time we were losing information and creating a new version. It was a nightmare. And I don't know how maybe a friend told me about Google Docs, and it was around 2010, something like that, or 2011. And we opened Google Docs, and the fact to being able at 3 people to create this document and being on the same document on the same time and typing something, and we were playing at the beginning, seeing each other typing something. It was a crazy experience. Obviously, we were all already using Gmail for a while, but for me, the thing that I could remember the best is the first time I used GDocs.
Cool. Yeah, great story. Yeah, I think probably similar to a lot of folks utilizing the tools for the first time in an education environment. Very common now, obviously, is that being the number one tool adopted by school boards and education.
It's true in the US and in Canada. It's actually not in France. Not a lot of
Interesting.
almost none of the public school are using Workspace. It's a huge conversation with the government, actually, because they're trying to invest in new tools, and currently they're like, we don't want Workspace and we don't want Microsoft 365. We want to keep our old systems, open source systems. And we're like, no, this is not how the market works. This is not how real companies work. So, and there is huge conversation ongoing in France.
Yeah, there's constant conversation, and probably nearsighted of me to just call out that they're number one for education, and obviously not considering your market as well, Ben. But there's constant conversation about which tools to arm students with and prepare them, for the workplace of tomorrow. And it's an interesting one for sure. We could digress into it for quite a while. Interested, I think, to get you on the show and really talk about your experience founding Comeen and making the choice to integrate with Google Workspace. Sure. what the nugget that the kernel, the original idea was for this, and what drove that decision to take on this project, and then maybe as a follow up too, I know you're on the Google Cloud Marketplace. So that's a journey that I think a lot of companies and founders are faced with, and maybe don't know where to start or how to take that on. So I think that's an interesting angle for you to chat about as well. But I'll let you start, and we'll carry on.
Yeah. I think we can go back to the very beginning of Comeen. And by the way, the company name wasn't Comeen at the beginning. It was Dynamic Screen. So we started as a digital signage solution. So we had one product at this time 5 years ago, and we were trying to build a digital signage product that is the most easy as possible to use. Because if it goes back to 2015, 2016, at this time on the market, the digital signage world was dominated by very old solution, based on software. It wasn't SaaS, it wasn't web. So you had to install on your computer software to create your playlist of content that you want to broadcast then on all your screens. And those kind of tools were built for IT people. It was like you almost needed an engineer degree to use it. And the reality of this world was that now it's more internal communication teams or external communication teams that use this kind of product. So on one hand, they are using like social networks, well-designed intranet, and the other end, they had to use like those very old, obscure almost digital signage products. So we came into this market and we said we want to build this product that takes the code from social networks and that applies them to the digital signage. So we built this product 100% web-based. So you access your dashboard from Google Chrome or also a web navigator on the market. You create your playlist of content. You can say, I want to broadcast a Google slide, then the weather, then let's say the upcoming event for my company. You click on broadcast, and that's it. All your screen will be broadcasted this content. And it was funny because we were on the market that we didn't know at this time. We built this product without learning a lot about the market, learning a lot about the competitors, and without knowing it, we were on the perfect market at the perfect time, which is a chance, And obviously, when you're building a company, you need skills, you need the best people in the world, but sometimes you need chance to grow. And we had this chance, so we started to sell our product through subscriptions in 2017, and our first customers were like bakeries, little companies that were trying, to find a little product to talk to their customers or talk to their employees through their screens. And the more we evolved, the more we were adding features, the more the company we were talking to as a customers were larger and larger. And after 2 years, a very well-known French company called Veolia, which is a very large group, there are 220,000 employees now, reached us by saying, we are looking for a digital signage platform for all our employees worldwide, for all our locations, and we need a platform that is integrated with Workspace, because we are using Workspace and we want to be able to create content into Workspace and being able to broadcast it on the screen. And at this time, we already had a very, very little integration with Workspace, but it wasn't the majority of our customers using the suite. And I think at this time we didn't see the value of being integrated with the collaboration suite. We were more like, you create the content into our platform and you can broadcast it on the screen, and that's great when you have like 50 employees. But when you have 20 or 220,000 employees, you can't like train everyone to use your product to put content on the screen. So the vision that we had with Veolia was more, everyone knows how to use Google Slide, for instance. So if we create a very easy to use integration with Google Slide, we can keep everyone creating content into this tool without knowing our product, and we will broadcast the Google Slide on the screen in the right building with the right language and everything that you need. And that's it. You don't even know how to use Comeen Play. And this is what we built for with the needs of Veolia in mind. We decided to, in our roadmap, to focus on the Workspace integration, previous the Veolia RFP, to put all the change in our side. And we worked closely with the Workspace team, and we found that on the market there were already some digital signage platform that provide the integration with Google Slide, but it was a very basic one. It was just you take the sharing link of your Google Slide, you paste it on the solution, and they broadcast it. But to do so, you have to share publicly, the Google Slide to make it work. And we were sure that companies such as Veolia, they won't allow that. They don't want to share publicly their content. So we built this integration. So we decided to integrate the drive picker in our product. So when you're on Comeen Play dashboard and you want to add a Google Slide, first you have to link your Workspace account, and then you click on the drive picker. Without leaving our product, you have access to your drives folders, your shared drive. You can pick the Google Slide you want. You click on it, and then it's linked, between our two platforms. And you can come back to Google Slide. You can edit your Google Slide, and we will detect automatically the modification and put those modifications on the screen. So it's very easy to use, and you don't need to share publicly your content. And it works also, of course, with Docs, with Google Sheets, with Looker Studio, previously the Data Studio. So we've tried to integrate all those content. So we won the Veolia RFP and the integration with Workspace was one of these reasons. The second one was the fact that our digital signage platform is running on Chrome OS, the operating system from Google. It's a very It's an operating system that has been designed to do what we call kiosk mode, so launching an app in full screen, which is by definition what we do in digital signage. So that was a great news. And the last part was the fact that Comeen Play was integrated with Loomapps, which is a famous intranet on the workspace market, also another French company. And we are able to broadcast the latest news coming from the intranet to the screen. So with all of this feature, we had the chance to sign Veolia, and now we've deployed hundreds of screens worldwide with them. It's been 3 years, and after that, a lot of workspace customers heard about the project with Veolia, heard about the feature that we have at Comeen Play to broadcast the content from Workspace, and now we have a lot of workspace customers that use Comeen Play, which is great. So yeah, I think it was our first story about how we integrated Workspace and Comeen Play, and 1 year after the Veolia RFP, it was around 2020, we decided to launch a new product to complete the suite of value that we were bringing to the customer, and we started to work on the visitor management solution, because all of those large enterprise have the same problem. You know, when you have a meeting with them in the HQ, they will invite you through a Google Calendar invitation, but when you reach the HQ, first, sometimes you need more information than the address, which entrance I should use. Is there a parking slot for me, for my car? And once you are there, you have always this person at the entrance of the building that asks you again your information, check if you have a meeting. And we felt that this process wasn't so seamless, you know, and it's often the first experience that you have with a company, and it's not good. So we decided to work on this first experience, and we decided to launch a visitor management system dedicated to Workspace. And we quickly understood that the main pain point of visitor management was to pre-register a visitor. You know, all the system on the market, you needed to go on the dashboard of the solution. So first you were creating a Google Calendar event, and then you needed to go on the dashboard of the solution, recreating the event and putting again all this information to send the invite to the visitor. And that's not what we do, and the adoption of this kind of tool were not good in those large enterprise because of that. So, and this is our first story with calendar. You know, our goal was to how we can make that possible without leaving calendar. That was the question we asked ourselves when we decided to build this product. And some weeks before, we heard about Workspace add-on, and at this time it was very basic. You couldn't do a lot of things with Workspace add-on, but on a way it was the solution that we were looking for, because with a Workspace add-on dedicated to calendar, you can use the product without leaving calendar, so you don't need to go to another dashboard, create an account, anything else. So you just have this panel on the right of your calendar screen. So we've built a first version of our calendar add-on, very basic, and we are still using the same process. So you create your Google Calendar invite, you click on our add-on on the right, you select the visitor that will need to go to your office, you select the building, the entrance, you click on save, and that's it. You didn't leave anything, and you
seamless.
have yeah, it's seamless. And when you reach the front desk of the company, you have an iPad or another touch screen with a computer behind that. You type your email, you click on validate, we detect that you have a meeting, and we send you a notification. We send to the host a notification into Google Chat that says, "Hey, Ben just arrived to the office." You know, and when you say that, it seems obvious. It seems that every company should have an visitor experience like that. So that was our first experience with add-on, and I think we released this feature around February 2020, and I think 20 days after, it was the first lockdown in France. So we released the product to welcome external visitors to a company, and 20 days after, everyone was working from home, you know. So timing was bad on this time, and we were
Yeah.
like,
Your
maybe
chance is going the other way. Your luck is going the other way for a change at some point here.
exactly, because we were like, having the idea was great, the product was great, and maybe nobody will come back to an office again, or it will be different. So yeah, it was a tough one. And when I look at it now, I'm happy that it happened because it was also at the same time the best opportunity that we have to make our product even better. Because some weeks after the first lockdown, we reached to our largest customers, and they told us, you know, we will come back to the office. We won't come back the same way than before, because nobody wants to come back 5 days a week to the office. But we will need a tool that help us planning in office days. And I think that was the best opportunity that we can dream about, because we had this add-on doing visitor, but it could do many other things. And we decided to focus our roadmap on flex office, you know, the fact to book a desk when you need to go to the office, because all our customers were already asking for those kind of features. So we decided to make the calendar add-on the place where you plan everything you need to do before going to the office. And we make a lot of evolution. And today, when you use our calendar add-on, you can from there see directly which people are the office currently, which of your teammates. You can plan your upcoming days to the office. So you can pick a specific date. You can see how many seats are left for you in a specific location. You can book a desk on the map directly or next to your teammate. Specify if you need dual screen, if you want to be next to the window, if you need a parking slot, everything that you will need to get there, you know, to create the best experience possible. And you click on it, and that's it. And we are the only company in the world doing that without leaving Workspace, you know. And we will have more integration coming regarding calendar in the coming weeks that we will soon be able to talk about. But it was already, you know, a good opportunity to do that.
Yeah. What a great story, and I love hearing. I hear a couple of things in that story, Ben. I hear one, you viewed Google Workspace and noticed how open it is and how capable it is for, you know, folks who want to integrate with it and develop an application that works alongside Workspace or within it in the case of Comeen without leaving the tool. And then I hear, you know, the story of like founding a company and getting a little good break here and there and maybe a tough break here and there and overcoming that and realizing, you know, the opportunity that it presents you rather than maybe the blocker that gets put up in front of you. In terms of the use of Comeen, has there been anything that's surprised you that you didn't see coming from your customers? Like, I'm thinking about Comeen Play and from in my perspective, I'm thinking of it as like a change management tool, you know, for return to office, for these in-office days, you know, directing people who might not have ever been to the office before because they joined the company during the pandemic, you know, these sorts of things. Like, what are some of your favorite uses that you've seen of these tools from the customers that you've joined?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, when we released Comeen Play, we had in mind this use case of talking to the customer. So we were thinking that most of our customers will use our product to put the screen into a store, you know, and broadcast, I don't know, the opening hours of the store, the ads and everything you need to know to buy a product. And I think our first surprise has been globally the internal communication market. We at this time 5 years ago, we couldn't imagine that it will be today the main usage of our platform, helping employees having this best experience. That was super exciting when we started to have customers and more customers using this use case, because for me and for the company as our mission, we we find them more relevant, relevant to help employees more than helping customers to buy a product. We find more ourselves in this in this mission, I would say. And uh, regarding when we moved to the Workspace add-on and all those new features, obviously when we started to use it and to promote it as a visitor management system, we couldn't imagine that we will finish by booking a desk. And when we released the first attendance management feature on the add-on, you couldn't actually book a desk, and we didn't had those kind of use case in mind. It was just like, I want to go to the office on Tuesday, I choose Tuesday, and that's it. You couldn't do more. And it's coming from our customers, actually, the fact that, no, we need to specify the desk where you will be seated. We need to be able to select it, and we will need it to also be able to book a parking slot and a locker, and we'll need to know if you will eat at lunch at the company, because we need to anticipate how many people will be there. And yeah, that was also surprising, because when we built this company, we were a digital signage company, and 2 years after, you're like building a tool to manage people going to the office. So it's also, as an entrepreneur, changed the way you think about your company, because you thought 5 years ago that you have found your market and your life will be building a tool that run on the screen. And after 5 years, I can tell you that my work is to build tools that helps employees, but it could be anything else tomorrow. It could be another tool that for HR, that we didn't anticipate. And I think in a way, this is what I like in my work, because the product and the platform is always evolving, and all those new needs are not only coming from our vision of what we can achieve, but most of the time from our customers. And we have this chance to work with those large group, and we have a good relationship, and this kind of confidence between us and those customers. And super exciting, when you have access to the HR of a company with 50,000 employees that rely on you to build the product that will help them make it work in those all of those locations. So yeah, it's most of thinking about use case that we couldn't anticipate. I think the more interesting and the more interesting part of our job will be this one.
Yeah, I'm hearing a theme of agility in how you've managed the business and your direction, or product direction, and then also a theme of really having a thought of the end user in mind, and meeting them where they are within their current workflow as much as possible to ease that transition into the tool. So,
yep.
Really strong stuff all around. I love hearing these stories and talking to founders, and I know you wear many hats as a founder as well, and have to be pivot and be constantly focused on different projects within the business. One thing that I know a lot of founders who want to integrate with Google Workspace and Google Cloud have to face eventually at some point is getting into the marketplace. Can you talk a little bit about that process? Was it how tough it was? Did you outsource any part of that to anyone, or lean on any external resources? How did that go?
Yeah, I think before answering the question on how we get there, we have to understand why we did it, because I would say 1 year and a half ago, or almost 2 years ago, I was like, I know the Google Cloud Marketplace, but I don't know why my product should be on it, because for me, the Google Cloud Marketplace was the place where you buy cloud resources, but not SaaS product. So it was a bit surprising the first time a customer asked me if we were on the Google Cloud Marketplace. I was like, no, we are on the Workspace Marketplace, but he told me, no, it's not the same for me. And first, we are working with companies that have at least 1,000 employees. That doesn't mean that we don't have customers under those number of employees, but we are focusing on mid-market and most of the time corporate and large enterprise. And those companies are slowly changing the way they buy SaaS products. If you goes back to 5 years ago, first they were buying SaaS product directly from the editor of the solution, and secondly they were buying a ton of product. And those two things changed. The first thing that changed is the fact that now large enterprises are trying to have less and less editors, so they are trying to find solutions that provide more and more features, to cover maybe 2 to 3 solutions with one global solution. So this is also why we needed to have more feature and to cover more spec of functionality, in our platform. The second thing that changed is cloud provider with their marketplace. They decided to integrate SaaS products such as Comeen, and now this large enterprise, since most of them have a commitment with one cloud provider, it could be Google, it could be other ones, so you can use this commitment, to buy, of course, cloud resources, but also SaaS products. And we have seen in the past 2 years more and more demand coming from this large enterprise saying, hey guys, your product is great, but it could be even better if we can buy it through the Google Cloud Marketplace, because they have one invoice, with their cloud resources and all the SaaS product that they need to buy. So it was becoming more and more strategic to get on the marketplace.
And not to mention the commitments that they've made to these cloud providers, and the assistance in burning down that commit and actually getting to that spend level. Any way companies can get there, they're looking for that advantage.
Exactly. And if in a way you are buying a lot of SaaS products that are not on the marketplace, and you need to burn your commit, and you have maybe the same product or product that does the same thing on the marketplace, of course you will go to the marketplace. So it was very important to us. So we reached out our partner manager at Google Cloud, and we start discussion about being on the marketplace. It wasn't easy because we were not on Google Cloud, which could be funny when you think about it, and you see our strategy that is very close from Workspace, Chrome, and now Cloud, obviously. But again, when we started the company, we were a digital signage platform that were not integrated with Workspace. So we were working with another cloud provider. So to get to the marketplace, first we needed to migrate to Google Cloud, obviously, and then being able to go on the marketplace. So I think the overall process took between 7 to 8 months. Most of the time was spent to migrate to Google Cloud. And then we decided to move to the marketplace. So we had a conversation with the Google Cloud team, and they told us that if we want to be successful on the marketplace, and if we want to be on the marketplace more quickly, we need to work with a partner. So we have been introduced to many partners, and we decided to go with SADA. The reason was pretty much obvious for us. We are a French company. We are very strong on the European market, and on the same time we are looking for partners in North America because we are expanding a lot in North America, and SADA is the leader on the market. So, and they had good reference, so we decided to go with them, and it went super well. It has been super quick to get on the marketplace. The team was dedicated to us. They were on our Slack channel with us, so very easy to exchange with the team. And finally, I think it was in October we get on the marketplace. We are the second digital signage solution on the market in the Google Cloud Marketplace, and the first workplace management product on the Google Cloud Marketplace. So super happy to be one of the first. We signed our first enterprise customer on the marketplace last month, so it has been super quick, between October and January, and we will have 2 more customers on the marketplace in the coming weeks. So it's getting more real and more trending, on the marketplace.
Yeah, that's great. Congrats on that. It's a huge step forward, I think, and it sounds like you feel that way too. And I'm glad that you mentioned SADA as a partner. I of course know them well as a former employee of SADA, and I think like there's such a strong partner ecosystem out there to assist with all sorts of various Google Cloud needs. Doesn't matter if you're an end customer or a partner product that is looking to integrate. So yeah, it's great to hear your story, Ben. I hate to cut off our conversation, but I'm gonna have to have you back on to the show in the near future, because we've got lots more to talk about. Really quickly before we wrap, I wanted to mention the Developer Summit coming to Toronto. We chatted briefly about that. You mentioned that you're going to have some team members at the summit. So if you are attending as a listener to the Developer Summit, please reach out to Ben's team at Comeen. I'll try and be there and be present as much as I can as well. And the other thing that I did want to mention was the recommended for Google Workspace 2023 window that is closing at the end of this month. That's a program that you've participated in on the Chrome side of things, and now are vying for on the Workspace side of things as well. Can you just really briefly give us a synopsis of that program and the benefits of it for folks like yourself?
Yeah, sure. So Chrome Enterprise decided 1 year ago to invest into the digital signage world. So the Chrome Enterprise recommended program was already there, but they didn't have the kiosk and digital signage part, so they launched it in I think January 2022, and they reached out to tell us that we will be part of the first Chrome Enterprise recommended for digital signage. So obviously we were super happy about that. It's a great recognition. It's a great recognition also for our customers and people that want to work with us. So it means a lot of benefits. Obviously, we have a partner manager in the US that is dedicated to Comeen, that help us reaching new partners, reaching new leads, financing or co-financing some marketing actions that we do with them. So, as a startups such as Comeen, it's obviously like the perfect timing to have Google that push you to accelerate on the market. So yeah, we're super excited to be part of it, and we just applied to the Chrome Enterprise recommended the Google Workspace recommended for Google Workspace program. So we'd love to be part of it.
Yeah, and I'll leave the link to the form that you fill out to apply for that in the YouTube description. I'll also leave a link to Ben's company's website, Comeen. So if you're in hybrid work, return to office strategic discussion, and you're curious, there's a link there. Please, I urge you to check them out. And if you're in the market for a Google Workspace partner, I'll have a link for StrataPrime there as well. Shout out to my StrataPrime team members who are listening to each and every one of these episodes early on here in the podcast. I appreciate the support. Ben, thanks so much for coming on, man. Like I said, we'll have to have you back on. Maybe we'll do like a forum discussion or a panel discussion on hybrid work. I think you'd be a great voice to have as part of that chat.
Sure.
Yeah. Appreciate you coming on, my friend.
Thank you so much, Troy. Have a good one.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, folks. If you enjoyed what you heard, please like the video on YouTube and hit that subscribe or follow button, depending on which platform you're listening and watching on. We'll see you on the next episode. Thanks.